This call is from a federal prison.
Lil Durk has found a powerful way to speak out despite being behind bars, using his music as a platform to send a message that has the industry buzzing. With serious legal battles ahead and his future hanging in the balance, this latest move could change everything. But what exactly is he saying? Is it a glimpse into what's next? A warning to his rivals? Or a calculated effort to take control of his own story? His newest album, Deep Thoughts, dropped on March 28, 2025. Under extraordinary circumstances. Released while the Chicago rapper sits in a Los Angeles jail awaiting trial on federal murder for hire charges. The project is both a creative outlet and a bold strategic statement. Durk is facing allegations that he orchestrated the 2022 killing of rival rapper Quando Rondo, along with a separate gang-related hit in Chicago. Despite being locked up, Durk's team pulled off the 17-track album using an unorthodox approach, recording all his verses through monitored prison phone calls. A gritty mini-documentary captures the process, cutting between news footage of his arrest and raw studio sessions, where producers hold phones up to speakers to capture his vocals. This guerrilla-style setup stripped the production down to its bare essentials. No rich vocal layers, no high-end effects, just unfiltered bars laid over remotely approved beats. The result is a raw, minimalist body of work that channels Durk's current reality into a message the world can't ignore.
This call is from a federal prison.
We in here, we got yeah, it's in the studio. We in this motherfucker getting to it, boy. Just roll out, got everything.
Beneath the surface of deep thoughts, melodic trap anthems, and high-profile collaborations with artists like Future and Iko lies a calculated and layered message, one that seeks to cement Lil Durk's legacy, hold down the streets, and perhaps even shape public perception ahead of his October 2024 trial. The looming threat of life imprisonment hangs heavy over the entire album, influencing both its content and delivery. Lyrics are meticulously self-censored, with violent references either removed or bleeped out, presumably to avoid giving prosecutors ammunition in court. Take the track 1,000 Times. A leaked version included the chilling line, "I'ma kill him. I'll shoot him dead for any child of mine," which is completely absent in the official release. On vanish mode, even seemingly innocuous words like gun and 3 are censored, a move fans speculate is driven more by legal caution than creative intent. The sanitized nature of the project has sparked debate. Some criticize it as a watered-down version of Durk's signature raw storytelling, longing for the pain and authenticity found in earlier tracks like Pico Coat from 7220 or Head Taps from The Voice. Others defend the restraint as a necessary shift. After all, talking openly about bodies and street activity isn't wise when federal agents are likely tuned in. This push and pull between authenticity and survival defines the project. On Monitoring Me, Durk nods to surveillance with bars about tapped phones and creeping paranoia, while Opportunist paints him as a battle-hardened survivor, navigating betrayal, but the lyrics are carefully measured, steering clear of anything that could be twisted in court. Even the album's features are strategically selected. Future's appearance on They Want to Be You brings a dose of street credibility without courting legal risk, while ICO's soulful hook on Can't Hide It adds vulnerability and emotional depth, deliberate counterpoint to the violent image prosecutors aim to project. The album art, too, plays a role in this narrative control. Rather than showing a prison setting, the AI-generated cover depicts a shadowy figure in a stylized self-portrait, symbolizing Durk's attempt to keep control of his image while obscuring the harsh reality of his current situation. Reactions to the album have been deeply divided. Some fans miss the unfiltered grit of Durk's earlier work and question the lack of that moment of truth energy, referencing his 2021 song about his brother D-Thang's death. Others praise Deep Thoughts as a sign of artistic growth, pointing to introspective tracks like Notebook, No Hook, where Durk meditates on fatherhood and grief over sparse piano production. The rollout hasn't been without hiccups. Leaked songs like Discontinuing Walk Heart and rumors of a cut Sabrina Claudia.
Her son is watching all this. He's trying to get the gun out of her hand. The gun off his hip drops, and the son picks up the gun and shoots him in the stomach.
Though no charges were filed, the incident involving Durk's 10-year-old son allegedly shooting his mother's boyfriend quickly went viral, sparking widespread debate. Social media lit up with memes and parody lyrics, like growing up in the trenches was tough, but it wasn't that bad. Had to sit down with my son, he shot his stepdad. Some dubbed the child a baby threat, referencing Chicago's youth violence in the drill scene. Critics called it a tragic reflection of how conflict becomes normalized in such environments, while supporters dismissed it as a personal family matter blown out of proportion. Regardless, the incident reinforced a recurring theme in Durk's life: the blurry line between his music's violent narratives and his personal reality. Durk's long-standing feud with Chief Keef, the pioneer of Chicago's drill movement, began back in 2013 after Durk's arrest on gun charges. When Keef reportedly refused to pay Durk's $10,000 bail, Durk lashed out on Twitter.
And you know what I'm saying, was living in a hellhole and came home and boom. He been King Von, but he became King Von to the world. Yeah. So he would have been bigger than Durk because he was moving too fast, too quick.
Though Lil Durk never publicly responded to 600 Breezy's repeated accusations, many viewed Breezy's comments as attempts to stir controversy for attention. Online, fans noted how the feud reflected a larger issue within drill culture: artists capitalizing on real-life trauma for clout. While some followers found entertainment in the drama, others called it exploitative, arguing it perpetuated violence in communities already grappling with systemic issues. Durk's music has often placed him in legal jeopardy. His lyrics, frequently laced with references to shootings, street revenge, and gang loyalty, have been cited in court as potential confessions rather than artistic expression. Critics say this reinforces concerns about drill music's violent influence, while defenders argue it's a clear-cut case of racial bias, pointing out that white rock or country musicians aren't prosecuted for their fictionalized lyrics. The debate over Durk's authenticity continues to divide fans and critics alike. Supporters cite early mixtapes like Sign to the Streets, the murder of his brother D-Thang, and years of hardship as proof of his street credibility. Detractors highlight his industry connections, high-end lifestyle, and perceived inaction following King Von's death as evidence that Durk is more brand than blood. Even his philanthropic work, including scholarships and youth programs in Chicago, triggers debate. Some see it as genuine community uplift. Others dismiss it as strategic image repair. It's a paradox. Durk is a father enmeshed in violence, a rapper accused of abandoning his roots, and an artist whose lyrics now haunt him in court. His career illustrates the blurred lines between authenticity and performance in hip-hop, and his legal woes raise a broader question: can rappers truly separate their art from their reality? As Durk faces one of the most critical moments of his life, the stakes couldn't be higher. Once a titan of Chicago's drill movement and a chart-topping artist, he's now caught in a web of federal charges that threaten to dismantle not just his career, but his legacy and freedom. At the center is a federal indictment for a 2022 murder-for-hire plot tied to the killing of Lil Pap, reportedly a failed retaliation attempt against rapper Quando Rondo. With his trial set for October 2024, Durk's future hangs in the balance. Prosecutors allege that Durk financed the hit through his collective, using credit cards linked to the group to pay for travel, weapons, and lodging for the alleged shooters in Los Angeles. The case is backed by over 230 gigabytes of digital evidence, financial records, and testimony from cooperating witnesses. With federal conviction rates exceeding 90%, the odds are steep. His legal team faces limited options, and one of the few viable strategies may be negotiating a plea deal to avoid a life sentence or worse. The maximum penalty for a federal murder-for-hire conviction includes life imprisonment, and in rare instances, the death penalty. What comes next for Lil Durk remains uncertain. But one thing is clear: his trial won't just determine his fate. We'll test how far the justice system is willing to go in holding rap accountable, and whether hip-hop can still be considered storytelling when the streets start talking back.
I think they're going to come with 50 just to start off with. 50 years just to start off with. And if they blow that, they're going to go up. And if they blow it, it's going to be like life. It's just going to be life.
I don't think they're gonna death penalty nobody no more.
Even a reduced charge could carry a 20 to 30-year sentence due to the severity of the alleged crime and its fatal consequences. To secure a plea deal, Durk would likely have to admit guilt, an admission that could save his life but fracture his carefully cultivated street persona. Alternatively, his legal team may attempt to dismantle the prosecution's narrative by arguing that members of his collective acted independently, or that his violent lyrics are protected artistic expression rather than evidence of criminal intent. But this strategy faces long odds. Courts have increasingly allowed rap lyrics to be used as evidence, a controversial practice critics argue unfairly targets lack creativity and criminalizes cultural expression. A more ominous scenario looms them. Case expanding into a full-scale RICO indictment. If federal authorities decide to pursue gang-related conspiracy charges, Durk could face a sweeping prosecution similar to Young Thug's ongoing trial in Atlanta, where lyrics, affiliations, and lifestyle were used to paint a picture of organized crime. A RICO case would prolong Durk's legal battle, multiply the defendants, and dramatically increase the chances of life imprisonment. For now, Durk remains behind bars in a federal detention center, denied bail after prosecutors labeled him a flight risk. They cited his attempts to book international flights to Dubai, Italy, and Switzerland shortly after associates were arrested portraying him as a potential fugitive. In confinement, Durk has lost control over both his music empire and his F-brand, forced to rely on pre-recorded material and outside proxies to keep his presence alive. His 2025 album, Deep Thoughts, released after his arrest, reflects this new reality. A project stitched together from old studio sessions and monitored prison phone calls. While the album may resonate with loyal fans, the absence of tours, viral videos, and in-person promotion is expected to limit its reach. Financially, the strain is immense. Federal defense costs often exceed $1 million, and the lost revenue from canceled concerts, stalled endorsements, and dormant brand deals continues to mount. His once lucrative partnerships with brands like Fashion Nova and Cash App may be quietly dissolved as corporations retreat from controversy internally. F's future looks uncertain. Without Durk's leadership, power struggles may erupt, with affiliates jockeying for control or abandoning the collective entirely. His absence has left a noticeable void in the drill scene, where his melodic, pain-soaked anthems once dominated streaming charts. While pre-recorded music may keep him afloat temporarily, his inability to interact with fans, perform live, or collaborate in the studio threatens his long-term relevance. Big-name collaborators like Morgan Wallen, who teamed up with Durk on Broadway Girls and Drake, may distance themselves to protect their own brands, unraveling industry relationships that took over a decade to build. Still, incarceration doesn't guarantee artistic silence. Artists like Young Thug and T Grizzly have continued releasing music from behind bars, maintaining loyal fan bases.